Hello everybody. So I came back on because I wanted to show you the width and the length of this bracelet. It measures about 2 inches wide and it's 6.5, well, almost 7 inches long. My wrist is 6.5, but it's thick, so that takes up a lot of the room. So I'm going to just lay this right here and show you how it fits. So I would need to use a clasp for this. And I did take it three pins from the top. So that being said, I just wanted to show you the size. All right, so we will get back to it. Hello everybody, Lila's Gigi here, and today I'm going to show you how to create Something to Love by Clark Michaela. This is a lovely design with the little hearts in it. I think I'm going to try to do red in the hearts and around the hearts. I'm not sure about my colors yet, but instead of the 3 beads up the center here, I'm going to put one large bead right here, just for something a little bit different. Okay, so if you're not giving if you're not giving Michaela a follow, go ahead and take a look at her Instagram account. Like her photos and give her a follow for me. She has some very, very gorgeous designs on her account. So give her a follow. Thank you. And I'm also on Instagram, for those of you who don't know, under Lila's Gigi. So you could give me a follow there too. All right, so I'm going to start off. This is a 7 pin bar design, straight across. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is drop a border band, and then I'm going to take 1, 2, 3 bands out to the right. Get a little crooked, making sure you push your bands down. And I'm going to bead every other band up the side. Excuse me. And I believe she stopped 3 from the top. I'm not sure what the size of this is going to be because I haven't made it before. So hopefully I will remember to show you before we get started on this, so you'll know, how far you want to stop, or if you want to take it all the way like I did. Okay, so 1 band up the side, and then your beaded band. If you're not beading them, that's okay. You'll just take this all the way up to the end of the loom. Whoops, get in there. And then a regular band. Sorry, my sinuses, I say that every time, my sinuses are always messed up. And a beaded band, and then plain band, and then your beaded band. Okay, whoops, lost the band. So do that all the way up to the top, stopping 3 pins from the top, and then bring them straight across and meet them in the middle. And I'll be back when I'm finished. Okay, so I'm back, and I stopped 3 pins from the top and brought them into the center. Okay, actually I ended up having to redo this section because something was screwy with my microphone, and I could just barely hear myself. So let's go ahead and do this again for me. All right, so middle pin, 2nd pin bar. This is where you're going to start your heart, okay? 2nd pin bar. Middle pin bar, 2nd pin. Going to go in, bring it out to the right, down diagonal. And I decided to bead these, okay? So I'm paying attention to the way that my heart is going, or the way my beads are going. So from where you just left off, you're going to diagonal to the right, just like that, pushing your bands down. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go in from here, we're going to go in twice, diagonal. Okay, so let's get this guy on here. I don't know, for some reason today I'm having problems laying my bands. I'm going to use my hook. All right, so another diagonal to the center. Will look like that. That's one part of your heart. I'm going to go ahead and do the other part. They just mirror this side. So from the 2nd pin, middle pin bar, going to take your band diagonally down. Okay. Now you don't have to use beads on these. I just chose to for something a little bit different. So where you left off, you're going to put your band on there, and then you're going to go diagonal up into the left. Okay? And then in twice, diagonal. To second pin bar, diagonal up into the right, and then one more where you left off. Going to put your band on there and go towards the center. Okay? So I'm only going to show you this pattern once so you can rewind if you need to. Then what we're going to do from there is we're going to put 3 bands up the center. Now I really want to use these hearts. They're a little big for this, but I believe they will still work. I'm going to use my hook to put that on. Come on. And I'm going to actually push it over to the side a little bit so I can get this on here. And it's okay if it hangs out there a little bit because what's going to happen when you loop it up, it will lay flat. I might have a little bit of difficulty getting the center band right here when I loop it back up, but I'll deal with that because I really wanted to use those. All right, so then you add your 3rd single chain up the center. From here, you'll follow the heart pattern again, which is down to the right, up to the right, diagonal towards the center twice, and from here you will go down to the left, up to the left, and to the center twice. So go ahead and follow that pattern, rewind if you have to. Oh, and then once you do the heart pattern, then you will lay your 3 single bands in between your hearts. Okay, so go ahead and follow that pattern and I will be back with you. So I am back, and this is what your last heart should look like. It should meet in the center up here. And this is what your loom should look like, more or less, if you use beads. Okay. All right. So now we have another pattern to do, and we're going to start right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pin bars, 5 pins up, middle pin. Yeah, try this again. 5 pin bars. 5 pins up, middle pin bar. I know you know what I mean, but oh my goodness, trying to think about it, it's crazy. All right, so you're going to go out to the right 3 times, and then to the left 3 times. Oops, band sticking. Okay, and since I started on the right hand side, I'm going to go back to the right hand side. So your 3rd pin bar in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pins up. You're going to take it 2 diagonals up and to the right. Oops, that's, oh my goodness, they're stuck together. Look at this. No, I'm not even going to mess with that. They're stuck together. Okay, let's try this again. Add diagonal to the right, go back to that pin that you started on, and 2 diagonals down and to the right. Okay, make sure you push those down. We're going to go over to the other side and do the exact same thing. So this is your 3rd pin bar, 5 pins up. Going to go up to the left. Did I do that first? Yes, I did. Up to the left diagonal, up to the left diagonal. Pushing those bands down, and then from that pin we're going to do 2 diagonals down. That's 1 and 2. Okay, so that pattern is going to be between each of your hearts. So we'll go up here to the next one. The end of your heart, you'll go up 1 pin. So it's actually not really the pin in the middle, but you'll go up 1 pin from where your heart meets right here, and you'll go out to the right 3 times, 2 and 3, and then out to the left 3 times. 1, 2, and 3, and push those bands down. Make sure they're all the way down, because we're going to be laying bands on top of those. Okay, so your 3rd pin bar, from the right, where you have this going across, so third pin bar, and you're going to go 2 diagonals down to the right. Whoops, I did them up first, didn't I? Let's be consistent. So up to the left, I'm sorry, up to the right, and then from there down to the left and down to the left. Okay, pushing those down. I'm going to go over to the other side. On the other side of the center pin, diagonal up to the left, diagonal up to the left, and then from that same pin, diagonal down to the left and diagonal down to the left. So go ahead and finish that pattern, and then I will be back with you. So I am back, and the last thing I did was lay these diagonals down here and down here, and you should have 4 sets of this pattern in between your 5 hearts. Okay, so that is what your loom should look like. All right, so I was trying to decide what I wanted to do here. Excuse me, and I have some glitter white that I think I'm going to use for the center, and I have the pearl white that I got out of the mint, so I'm going to use those first. So what we're going to do, first pin bar, first pin, diagonal to the right, diagonal up to the left, diagonal, up to the right, and diagonal up and to the left. Okay, I'm going to repeat that pattern on the other side. Last pin bar, first pin, diagonal up to the left, up to the right, up to the left, and up to the right. So finish that pattern all the way up to the end of your loom. Okay, and I will be back with you as soon as I finish mine. Okay, so I am back, and the last thing I did was I brought this diagonal in on this side and this one over here, and I pushed my bands down. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do just the exact opposite. Second pin bar, first pin, diagonal to the left, so we're making X's. Diagonal up and to the right, diagonal to the left, and diagonal up and to the right. Make sure you push those bands down. Then we're going to go over to the other side and do the exact same thing. I've got some bands that don't belong in here. Goodness me. Okay. All right. Second pin bar from the right, first pin, diagonal up and to the right, completing that X, diagonal up and to the left, up and to the right, and up and to the left. So go ahead and finish those, pushing your bands down, and I will be back with you. Okay, so I am back, and I finished this crossband here and this crossband here up to the corner. Those same 2 steps that we just did, we're going to do again, starting, excuse me, push those down. I thought I pushed everything down. Starting second pin bar, first pin. I am going to go ahead and use my glitter white now, though. The rest of the center, I'm going to use the glitter white that I have. So, diagonal to the left, to the right, diagonal up, well, come on, up and to the left, up and to the right, and up and to the left. Okay, going over to the other side, second pin bar, first pin, diagonal to the left, and I will push those down in a little bit, diagonal up into the right, so we're mirroring the other side. Okay, diagonal up to the left, and then diagonal up and to the right. So go ahead and finish those. I'm going to go ahead and start the next layer since I'm right here. Usually I don't. I just, finish it up and then have you finish it and then come back. But so what we're going to do next, once you've laid these diagonals here, we're going to go ahead and make these X's. So starting the third pin bar, first pin, we're going to go diagonal to the left, diagonal to the right, diagonal to the left, and diagonal to the right. Okay, so go ahead and finish. Once you've done your first diagonals, come back and lay this second set. We're going to mirror this on the other side. Third pin bar from the right, we're going to go diagonal to the right, finishing that X, diagonal up and to the left, finishing that X, diagonal up to the right, and then diagonal up and to the left. Okay, so go ahead and finish both of those patterns, and then I will meet you back here when I finish mine. So I am back, and what I did was I did this diagonal here first, and then I came back in and did the cross bands. And same thing on this side. I laid here first, and then I came back and did these cross bands. And this is what your loom should look like. Okay, I think we have 3 more steps of laying bands, and then we'll be able to turn this around. All right, so what we want to do, this next step, is we're just going to lay center, and I'm going to use the same color here. That might be a mistake for me because they're white, but that's okay. We'll see what goes. Okay, so lay your center bands all the way up your single bands all the way up the center, and then I will meet you back here when I'm finished with this. Okay, so I am back, and I laid my single bands all the way up to the center, and this is what your loom should look like. Okay, so starting at the bottom here, we are going to lay a band. I believe we're going to go to the left first. The very center, first pin, up to the left, up, diagonal to the right. Okay, now these are going to end up looking like long X's, even though we started this. So for where you left off, we're on the left hand side, up to the center, down to the right, up to the left, crooked, and up to the right. Okay, it's going to go up to this one. Going to go in towards the center, diagonal, over here, in towards the center to the left, diagonal. As long as you're consistent with the way you've laid your bands, you should be fine. Diagonal to the left and diagonal to the right. So go ahead and follow that pattern all the way up, and then I will meet you back here. And we have one more layer to lay, and then we'll be able to loom. So I am back, and the last thing I did was I laid this diagonal here and this diagonal here. Now we're going to do basically the same thing, except instead of starting from the center, we're going to start from the 3rd pin bar on the left hand side, runaway bands. We're going to go up to the center and down diagonal from the center to the right. You need to make sure you push your bands down. And then from that center, we're going to go up to the left and then up to the right. Okay, and then from those outside bands, we're going to go, so that's 1, 2, 3 up. You're going to go up to the center, go over to the right, and take that diagonally to the center. Okay, so follow that pattern all the way up, and I will be back with you when I finish mine. Okay, so I'm back, and I probably should have used darker colors so that you could see, but the last thing I did was laid this diamond right here. Okay, so, and I also put a cap band right here, and we're going to flip it around and start to loom it up, and everything is going back to itself. Okay, let me get it a little bit closer. Alrighty. So the top band on mine is, let's see, yeah, the one on the left. So go in through the cap band, grab that band, and loop it back to itself. Go in the cap band. Next one should be the diagonal that goes to the right. I can get in there and loop that back to itself. Look like that. Okay. 3rd pin bar, 2nd pin, we're going to go up and we're just going to loop everything on top back to itself. Go in, grab that band, loop it back. You might get a little band heavy. Go over to the right, loop that diagonal back to itself. Go in this pin here, so it's the 3rd pin up from where your bands start, and loop that. Whoops, grabbed the wrong one. Of course I did. All right, let's just get this a little. Oh, and now I'm stuck. Okay, grab the band on top, should be the diagonal that goes to the left, loop it back, go into that same pin, grab the next one on top, should be the diagonal that goes to the right. Okay, and do this part with you one more time. Go ahead and grab the band on the top, loop it back to itself to the center, drop down, grab this diagonal band and loop it back to the center. Okay, so go ahead and do that, making sure you push your bands down, and I will be back with you. Okay, so I am back, and the last thing I did was I looped these two out. Okay, so we're going to go back, and this is what your loom should look like. Go down to the bottom, and now what we're going to do is I ended up putting, you'll need to put a cap band on 3 and 5. Okay, so 3 and 5. I have cap bands on those. Now we're going to loop everything else. So third pin bar, third pin, we're going to go in, grab that top band, and loop it to the center. Go over to the right, third pin bar from the right, grab the top band, make sure that is the top band, and loop it to the center. Okay, we're going to go into the, let me get it a little bit closer. So 4 pin bars up in the center, we're going to go in and loop those out to themselves. Just the top band. Oh my goodness, I got it in there kind of crooked. I believe that's the one. Oh, nope, I was wrong. Let me put it back. And give it a little wiggle to get them back in place. And not catch anything. Okay, so let's try this again. Get through these bands, grab the top band, I got it that time, loop it back to itself, out to the left, go in, grab the next band, and loop that to the right. Okay, I'm going to go over here, I'm going to grab the top band, loop it to the center, drop down over here, and loop this to the center. Okay, so basically what you're doing is you're just looping them back to themselves. I'll do this with you one more time. Go into the center, grab that top band, loop it back to itself, out to the left. Next top band should go out to the right. Go over here, grab that diagonal that goes up to the right, and loop it to the center. Oop, get it on there. And drop down here and grab the next one that's on top and loop it to the center. Okay, so go ahead and finish those up, pushing your bands down, and I will be back with you when you're done. I am back, and the last thing I did was I looped from here to here, that diagonal, and then this diagonal. Okay, and this is what your loom should look like. All right, so what we're going to do, and I did not realize, you may as well go ahead and put a cap band on the 2nd and the 6th pins. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to take the bottom here and we're going to just loop up these zigzags just like we laid them. So go in, 3rd pin bar, 3rd pin up, but it's the 1st pin that your bands are on, and loop it back to itself. Go into that same pin, grab the one on top and loop it back. Same pin, loop that diagonally to the left, and then into that same pin, grab the one on top, should be the diagonal that goes to the right. Okay, so you want to do that all the way up to the end of your loom. And then I'm going to go over here and we're going to do the exact same thing on this side, just mirror image. Going to go in 3rd from the right, your 3rd pin bar from the right, grab that top band, loop it back, go into that same pin, loop your diagonal up and to the left, same pin, diagonal up to the right, and same pin, diagonal up and to the left. Okay, so finish both sides all the way up to the end of your loom, and I will be back with you. Okay, it's me again. So the last thing I did was from this 3rd pin bar here, I looped out to the left and I looped out to the right. And this is what your loom should look like. Okay, so now we're going to finish that X. Now, make sure you had put your cap bands on 2 and 6, okay? Because we need those. So you're going to go in through your cap band, and I always use triple unless somebody says otherwise. So loop out to the left, go in, grab the band that's on top. I said left, didn't I? Well, loop it out to the right and then loop this one out to the left. Go in, grab the top band, loop it to the right, go into that same pin and loop out to the left. So you're just looping those back to themselves. Okay? I'm going to do the same thing over here. 6 pin bar, go in through the cap band, grab the top band, loop it up and to the left, and you're just going to follow that diagonal. Okay? Same pin, loop it to the right. Next one loops diagonal to the left, and the next one loops diagonally and to the right. Okay? So go ahead and finish that all the way up on both sides, and I will be back with you. Alrighty. So the last thing I did here at the top was I looped this one here from your second pin bar up to here, and then I looped this one to here. Okay, so we're basically going to do the same thing that we just did, but we're going to start your second pin bar. So this one, we're taking the one on the bottom. So go in, grab that band, loop it back to itself, go into that same pin, loop that back to itself, and loop this one back to itself. Okay, so you'll take care of the zigzags on that side first, all the way up to the top. Then we're going to go on here, and again, we're taking from the bottom. Excuse me. And I believe we're going to need cap bands on both ends. Looking at it, and I didn't really see in the flipogram, but you know, that doesn't mean anything. I can't always see. I'm old. All right, so diagonal that goes up to the right, you'll grab that, go in, grab the next band that goes diagonal to the left, loop it back, go in, grab, it's kind of thick band there, okay, loop it back to itself. So we're just doing the diagonals right now, okay? And then loop it back to itself. So go ahead and finish that. We'll come back, and I think what we'll have after this is just the other side of this diagonal, and then we'll be doing the pattern and looping up the sides. Alrighty, so last thing I did was I took this to here, and then from here I took it up here. Okay, so now we're going to do the rest of that zigzag piece of cake, and it's getting a little tight, so just to let you know. Now, I couldn't see in the flipogram, and that's maybe my fault, but you will need a cap band on this end and on this end. I think I may have mentioned that already, but just in case I didn't. So you're going to go into that first pin bar, first pin that has your bands on it, and loop it back. Same next pin, loop it back, same, I said pin, well, whatever. Loop it back, and go in, grab that band, and loop that diagonal back. Okay, so you want to do that all the way up on that side. I'm going to go over here to this side, this last pin bar. I'm going to reach in through that cap band and grab the top band, which should be the diagonal that goes up and to the left. Okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'm sitting here and I heard something snap, and guess what? Look, this just snapped. Okay, so I'm going to have to go back and undo some of these and replace that band because I've already looped up from here on up. So that was halfway up. Not a big deal. You can still continue to do these zigzags. Okay, so wow, that was odd because I didn't even touch anything. So let's go back here. Real time, people, real time. All right, so you'll take that diagonal to the left, reach in, grab the next band on top, loop it back to itself, that diagonal, and reach in and grab this diagonal and loop it back to itself. Okay, so do the rest of those diagonals. Next one will be this one, and then this one. Do those all the way up, and then I will meet you back with my band fixed. And I believe at that point we're going to be looping up, I believe it's the black ones first, and then we'll do the hearts. Okay? Alrighty, so I am back, and the last thing I did was I took this diagonal to here and this diagonal to here, and this is what your loom should look like. Okay? Now, I almost forgot, we have the single chains that run up the center here. So what we're going to do is we're going to reach in and we're going to pull those single chains up to right here. You can see the black pattern right here underneath. Okay? Whoops, getting stuck, getting stuck. Okay, so middle pin, your second pin bar that has bands on it, loop it to the center straight up. Go in, make sure that you're not grabbing the heart band. Mine is clear, so I'm good to go. Loop it straight up. Go in and grab the next one and loop it straight up, and then stop right there. Okay, so what we're going to do, I want to just check something here to make sure that is on the bottom, and it is. Okay, so, whoops, got caught. What we're going to do now is we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pin bars, 5 pins up where you have this. I did not count the 2 that were on the bottom. So where your crossband is for your pattern, you're going to go in, grab that pattern, and bring it to the center. Well, to the right. Oh, why am I stuck? It's pretty tight. So I'm going to use my fingers. Okay? Bring that to the right. Go in, grab the one that's on the bottom, which should be the other crossband. Bring it to the right. Go in, grab, let me see here. Yeah, those go out. Okay. Go in, grab the next one on the top, which should be the crossband. Let's see if I got it. No, I did not. Alrighty. Kind of hard to see. It's pretty deep in there. Alright, let's try this again. 1, 2. Why does that look like it's on the top? Alright, I'm looking at this and I should have 1, 2, 3. Alright, well, I'm looking, and you know what? It looks like, alright, so we're going to stop right here for just a second, because it looks like she looped out these diagonals here first, okay, and then went in and looped them back together. So we're going to go in, the one that's on top should be, hopefully, the one that goes to the bottom, and it is. I'm going to go in through all those bands and grab the next one, which should be on the bottom. Oops, it does not look like it caught. So, let me see here. Excuse me. I may have laid these wrong because I'm looking at that, and the one that goes right here is on the bottom, and she has them coming out. So, Michaela, forgive me, but I'm going to have to do this a slightly different way. Sorry, I did not realize. Let me take a look at the side. Yeah, that is on the bottom. Oh my goodness. All right, so it's kind of late to pull everything off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here, 1, 2, 3 up from where your bands start, and bring that to the right. I'm going to go in, grab the next one, which should be on the bottom, and I want to make sure that that catches everything, and that should go right to there. Let me just look to make sure it caught, and it did. So my apologies, I must have laid them the wrong way. Oh goodness. Oh well. I think the pattern will still be good. So yeah, I think we're okay. So then what we're going to do is you have these other 2 diagonals that go right here. So we're going to go up to where this last diagonal is. We're going to reach in, grab that band, and loop it down to the right. You're going to go in, grab the one that's on the bottom right here, and loop it down and to the right. Okay. Now we're going to go in. The last one on the bottom should be this diagonal here. I'm sorry, this cross band. I'm going to go in, grab that band, which should put everything together, and it's a little tight for me. So I'm going to use my fingers and put it right here. All right. So that is the one side. If I'd laid these properly, and I guess I didn't realize how they were laid, these would have gone out instead of coming in. But I believe, Sebastian, I know I was a bad girl, huh? All right. So anyway, we're going to bring them into the center. I think it'll be okay because, like I said, that pattern will still be there. So then we're going to go over to this side here. Going to grab the crossband. Oh my goodness, Sebastian. That goes to the right, to the left. Reach in, grab the next one, and bring it over and stop right there. Okay. Oops. Okay, so now we have these diagonals that go down and the diagonals that go up, and boy is he noisy tonight. 1, 2, 3 up on the right hand side here. Going to go in, grab that band and loop it up. So if you've seen this already, a lot of times I will watch the tutorial before I make the bracelet. Then lay these bands, when you lay them the opposite of what I told you so you can loop them back out. Okay, that's up to you. That's the way it's supposed to be done. And again, my apologies. So I'm going to go in through everything, grab that bottom band, which is this diagonal here, and loop it back to itself. Right? Now we're going to go up to the top here, excuse me, and grab that diagonal that goes down and to the left and loop it back to itself. Going to go in, grab the one that's on the bottom and loop it down and to the left. Okay. Once we've done that, we're going to go in here and grab this last cross band and loop it back to itself. Okay. Now, whoops, get it on there. A lot of bands, so make sure you push them down. Now we're going to go in and grab the single chain that goes straight up. It should be on the bottom, and I may have some problems with it because I have, let's see, I have that, well, I know it's in there. It's right here. Okay. I'm going to have to find it because I have that large bead in here, which is going to make it hard for me to get that. But so I'll probably end up doing that off camera. So once you loop that up, you will loop this one, this one, this one to here, to where these bands cross again. Okay? And then you will follow that same pattern. Let's see, I'm checking this one. You see, you know what? I must have laid something wrong because, nope, that is on the bottom. Let me just check this. Oh, goodness. Sometimes, yep, it is on the bottom. So I'm looking at it, and it is on the bottom. So you will go ahead and have to loop these up towards the center unless you laid them properly, and that is my bad, my mistake. But like I said, I believe you're still going to have this pattern, so that should be fine. So I'm going to go ahead and finish mine, and then finish this pattern, and then I'll come back with you, and we will loop up the hearts. Okay? Great. You know what? I'm looking at this. And I think, well, no, she has not looped up the hearts yet. So I was just trying to figure out in my brain how these hearts were going to go. Oh, that's right. We have single chains up the center for the heart. Okay. And I'm confusing myself. All right. So go ahead and do that pattern again. If you laid it properly, they would be going out this way instead of in towards each other. But because of the way I did it, I couldn't tell so much on the flipogram. They will have to come in, and then you will loop this one over, bring these in, and loop this one over, and then do your single chain. Okay, so do that to each of your patterns. Okay, so I am back, and I did all of these black patterns that I had. Okay, again, Michaela, I apologize for not laying these properly because I had to bring them in instead of out. Oh, goodness, I guess it happens. All right, so now we're going to do the heart pattern. So what you want to do is you want to go in, and whichever one is on top. Now, I ended up having to redo this, so I don't know if I went to the left or the right on this originally. The reason why I had to redo it was because my microphone was not on, and it really makes a difference as far as the sound goes. Okay, so I'm going to go in, grab that diagonal, bring it back to itself, and all you're going to do is follow the pattern. You follow the pattern on one side, follow the pattern on the other side, and do the single chains up. Okay, so let's go in here and grab that one, which I know is on top because I put it there. All right, so I'm going to go in and grab the one that goes down and to the right. Going to drop over here, go in and grab the one that goes up and to the right. Following the pattern, it's relatively easy. You just want to make sure that you've caught all the bands. Okay, and we'll get the next one, which goes diagonally up and to the left. And then the next one goes down and to the right. Okay, and from here, you just reach in and grab the band that's on the bottom, which now I'm not sure because I had to redo this part of it because of my microphone. All right, so I think that's on, well, other than being hooked onto me, I think it's on the bottom now. So go in, you grab it, and bring it up, straight up. Okay, go in and grab the next one and bring it straight up. So, excuse me, you want to just follow the pattern for the heart, do your single chains up, and then follow your pattern for the heart, and then do your single chains up all the way to the top. Rewind if you have to, but I'm going to go off and do this. All right, see you in a moment. So I am back, and I finished the heart to here and to here. And I realized, now I may have missed it again. You know, sometimes the flips are hard to read, and you know, you're doing your best to study them and get them the way they need to be, but yeah, I'm missing a band right here. So I'm going to show you how to fix that. So this band is going to need to be on the bottom, underneath all the bands that are here, except for the border bands. Okay, so we just reach in through all those bands and hook it on. That will put it on the bottom. All right, it's hard to see, but it is above the two border bands. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach in here and go around all these bands, and then I'm going to grab, make sure that I've gotten everything there. I'm going to grab that band and just pull it. I think I got it. Do I have it? Actually, I'm going to turn it sideways so that I know I've got it. We'll see what happens. And then I'm just going to hook it up to here. And what that does is that captures all of the bands that are on here. I did not want it falling apart, and you do not want it falling apart, trust me. So it went on the bottom of this one, above the border bands. I don't know if you can see that. And then, so I just reached down, I pulled the band through and just looped it over so that it would be right here. And then I reached in here through everything because I know it needs to be on the bottom. Grabbed the band and pulled it through and hooked it up to here. Okay? Michaela, I apologize for if you think I'm butchering this. I don't mean to. I'm hoping it's going to come out good. All right, so this is what it looks like. Okay, so our last step, of course, is to loop the border bands. You want to go in, grab your top band, and loop it back to itself. And my dog is licking my arm again. Jack, quit. Go in, grab that border band, loop it back, go in and grab the bottom band, which should be the border band, and loop it back. Okay, and then loop it all the way up. And this band is looking kind of, I don't know. I guess it's going to be okay. So go back over to the other side, grab your border band, loop it to itself, grab that bottom band, which should be your border band, loop it back. So I'm going to go off camera. I'm going to finish looping mine up, and then I'll probably take it off up to a certain point at the top and then show you how to close it. Okay? And when you take these off, be very, very careful. There are a lot of bands on some of these pegs, and you don't want anything to snap. All right, so I'll meet you back here in just a moment. So I'm back, and I finished all these at the side. And now what I'm going to do is we laid a closure band here, if I can get it. I'm going to go through every band that's on that hook, on that pin, and bring this through. Okay, just making sure that I've got it connected. Let me just check here, and it is. So what I'm going to do is, where did it go? There it is. My trusty safety pin, my trusty plastic safety pin, holds everything nice and secure. You can use a C-clip, bobby pin, safety pin, whatever you can get a hold of. Okay, and then I'm going to clip that off. So it's, I'm looking at it and it has captured all of the bands that are on that pin. All right, so I was saying be very careful with this. I busted a couple of bands and had to fix them as I was pulling this up. So I'm hoping that I won't have any more problems with that. Okay, so just very carefully take them off the side. I never, ever, ever pull anything off right away. I mean, I do not pull things off. I've seen people, you know, grab them and just yank them off, and I just can't do that. So you want to carefully pick up the sides. I think I've got, let's do the other side here. Just extremely carefully, just use caution. A lot of work goes into this, and you just don't want anything to break. Okay, so I'm going to pull everything off, and till we get to the end. And then I can see I have beads to straighten and bands to straighten, and I will definitely do that. Okay, last one. All right. A lot of bling on this guy. Let me put this as, whoops, you know. Still working. I forgot to put my microphone in, but we were just taking it off anyway. So you want to make sure that you stretch it. And it turned out really cute. I have beads to fix and some bands to straighten. Let's get a little further away. Can see it sideways like this. It is a very tight design, so you will need to get some kind of closure for it. My wrist is 6.5 inches, and there's a gap of about an inch there, I guess, about a knuckle's worth. Very pretty. Like I said, I have some, I'm looking at the sides here, and these are kind of thick. So I stood one up earlier, and I didn't really like it standing up. So I'm going to go ahead and leave those laying down, but I will straighten my beads and straighten some bands, and hopefully everything will turn out okay. I won't break anything in the process. So this is Something to Love by Clark Michaela. She is on Instagram. Go ahead and give her a follow for me. I am on Instagram under Lila's Gigi, and yeah, some things to straighten there. You can see that. If you enjoyed this tutorial and would like to see future tutorials, please subscribe to my channel, and I will post pictures of this and post it on Instagram. So thank you so very much for watching. This really is not a difficult bracelet for some reason, and I think a lot of it had to do with the bands that I was using. For some reason, these, oh my goodness, I can't even think right now. I've got a little bit of a headache. These bands were breaking left and right. These were breaking, and my, these in here were breaking. The white ones, the white pearls were breaking. So I'm going to go ahead and straighten things out, and then I will post pictures. And thank you again so very much for watching. Have a great day or evening.